Hello, hello. How are
How
you?
are you?
I am
I'm
doing
glad to hear
well.
from you.
What's that?
I'm glad to hear from you.
I know it's been too long.
It has been way too long. You can ask me the questions, but I assume that this is going to be a little more than just one interview, because I would like to speak to you regularly on your podcast. Because there's no way that you and I can have just one conversation and have it over. So why don't you tell people how we met?
Oh, wow. That
Bravo.
was wow, 2012 I believe it was. And
Okay.
it was up in Seattle at the Neptune Theater.
That's right. That's right.
And funny thing was, and I thank the universe for this, is I was there an hour early before doors even opened. And it said online
Yes.
it opened at a certain time. So I was there early. And we happened to cross paths. And I.
Well, crossing paths was that I had a gig to do, and so before every gig, I walk around the hall before doors are open, and I walk around every part of the room, and I want to see where the merchandise is being sold, and I want to see where everything is sold, and I see this little girl with a skateboard in the corner in the dark, and I said to you, "Are you real?" Because I never know in those places if somebody is a ghost or if they're real, and I always have to ask. And you stepped out of the shadows and you said, "Yes, I am real." And I said, "Okay, this chick is real and she's really cool." And I'm like, "You came all the way from, was it Portland?"
It was actually Southern Oregon, so it was like a 10
All
hour
right.
thing.
Okay. And am I correct in that recollection?
Oh, yeah, yeah, Oregon.
Okay. Carry on.
But yeah, no, I thought it was amazing because someone I looked up to musically my entire life, and I finally get to meet this person. It was a beautiful thing. The moment that we hugged, I just felt this calming energy of just love and warmth flow off of you, and I was like, yes, this was meant to be.
That makes me feel very good today. And I was really impressed because somebody's so young. And I think you had a skateboard with you.
I think I had something with me. I can't remember though.
I do. And I only have two brain cells left. So I really think you did. And you came, and I was just impressed by that somebody so young would work so hard and come so far for something that she believed in. And that made me think this kid is something special. So go ahead, ask me questions.
Well, I just wanted to see how things were, and like recently you mentioned that you were working on a new book, correct?
I am, and I am, and yeah, there's a lot to get to before that. Um, there's a lot to get to. I've had a really, I'm going to be honest with you because I can. I've had a difficult time dealing with what's happening with Joshua Tree where I live. They're putting, it's been very difficult preserving the eco consciousness here, and it's really been a problem for me and everybody. Everybody thinks it's good. You know, they're really killing the environment around here, and it's a lot of people coming out thinking it's all cool, and it's like, Burning Man on your off time, but it isn't. They're putting a huge solar place out here, and huge solar power is not the same as home delivery with solar power, and that's just been a serious problem out here right now. We're fighting for our existence. They want to put a dollar store out here. Joshua Tree fought against a casino, which they ended up putting out in 29 Palms, which is where the Marine base is, which pisses me off even more because Marines they get a crappy salary. They're 18 years old, and then you're going to put a casino in there. What do you think these guys are going to do? And so I've had I'm glad you called me because I've had a really kind of a bummer day about all this. I've finally gotten back to recording, which I'm happy about, but I'm a little disturbed at what's going on in Joshua Tree. As a member of my community, and I believe in the Mojave Desert Preservation. I believe in all that, but we're fighting a very hard battle. And so I would appreciate the opportunity to express that, and I thank you for asking me.
Well, yeah, I mean, even I think anywhere when you try to preserve something the way it's meant to be and change comes for not the better but worse, someone does need to stand up and fight for that right. Even
It's rough, man.
it is, and
I respect anybody to do that, and I know where you're from. People do that, and I will allow you to. Well, allow you. I'm such a bitch sometimes, but carry on with your young questions, my girl, because you're the future. I'm not.
well, what's interesting is that I woke up a couple days ago to an email from a past person that I had interviewed that's a no-name musician. And he messaged me and said, well, thank you for having this interview with this person because it showed me their music and now we're collaborating together on a new music track. And I woke up to that and I was so like stunned and like in awe that I was so in love. It made my day. And this is why I do it, so other people can...
You're good, and your mom is great, and you're good, and you're going to go on to very great things. And if I had a kid, it would be you.
That makes me feel very honored, thank you.
Oh, please. You know you're talented. And you made that video for my song Fresh Blood, and that's actually, ironically, a weird item in the news, like just the day before yesterday.
Really?
Yes, it was an item in the news, and I had to actually go online and ask anybody who had that track, because that was a song about female circumcision, which seems to be on the rise, because there are more African immigrants in this country, and they all perform and worship female circumcision. And that was really, really, really a great thing that you did, that video. And we worked on that a lot, and we will work on more, because you felt it, fresh blood.
I did. It was one of the many songs that had...
Wait. No, wait. I just screwed up. That was just a great song. This is called The Cut. And that you know what? May I ask you to make a video to that song as well?
Oh, yeah, I'd be totally privileged, and I would love to.
I'd like you to do that. I'm sorry. I'm a little screwed up right now because I've had a really strange day. But you are awesome, and I would like you to do that. Fresh Blood was great. It was so great. And as you interpreted it so well, because it's basically about just getting generations to be born, exploit them for what they don't know. It's all about, exploiting new kids into the military, whatever. But The Cut is about female circumcision, and it is practiced in countries that we send money to and military to, and they cut. May I be frank?
Go for it.
All right. They basically cut off. Do you know about female circumcision?
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's on the rise. If you can believe that, that is actually on the rise. Alice Walker wrote a lot about that, and they actually cut the female. I'm sorry to be frank, but it's obviously we can on your podcast.
Oh, yes.
It's a point of cutting off female genitalia, and they practice it in African countries and a lot of countries, not just African countries. But the thing that is a problem is, well, it's in the first place it's a freaking problem because oh boy, here I go. Oh jeez, oh gosh, look what you made me do. The female clitoris is the only organ on the human body that is only designed for pleasure. That's it. And if that wasn't there, we would not be reproducing. But to have a society and a culture to cut that off is absolutely beyond criminal. And Alice Walker wrote so wonderfully about this, and I wrote The Cut about this, and I managed to find it online because I'm very bad about keeping my own music around. because I'm not egotistical and don't want to sit around listening to myself all day. But Alice Walker wrote such great. I recommend that you read Alice Walker's writings about this. And Hillary Clinton, I have to say, did a really great thing on a women's conference in China, saving a woman who came over here from asylum, from political asylum, because her mother sent her out here on a German passport because she didn't want her daughter cut. And that's just a really horrible thing. And I feel very strongly about that. And I think any woman would. But the strange thing is that the practice is perpetuated by grandmothers and women, because it's a strange thing between women. They're like, if it's good enough for me, it's good enough for you. And that's pretty much of a downer, so ask me another question.
Wow, I did not know that.
No, dude, it is true. And if anybody can deal with that, you can. I've seen what you can do.
Well, I would be honored, and
it needs to be dealt with.
I agree. It needs the stuff that is not being talked about because of... Yeah, I feel strongly about what stuff is being thrown in a dark corner or the underdogs, because stuff needs to come true to the light and not be forgotten for what is actually happening. And that's why I fight so hard, because I am so young, but it's just, I fight so hard for my generation to...
You're an old soul.
I do feel like that at times. I do. And that's why I fight so hard for my generation to understand and not forget what is happening in the world around us. Because we get so sucked into technology that we just dismiss everything that's going on here and now.
Yeah, I can't say I feel sorry for you, because I believe in youth, and I think you guys have a whole lot more going for you than when I was your age. But you're being spoon-fed crap, and that's what they want you to be. And so you sit in front of the stuff, and it's great. I just had my internet upgraded, and I'm like, oh wow, it's so great to be able to sit here and just watch a movie. Well, screw it, man. And then I remembered why I moved out here, and without TV and internet, because I really wanted to. But you're irrelevant if you don't pay attention, and you can't react, and you can't respond, and you can't absorb it into your own DNA. You know what I'm saying? And I'm a grandma now to you, and I remember my grandma. I have tattoos, and it's my Russian grandmother's handbook, and when she moved to the United States. I remember all this stuff. So grandmas are really important, but the youth is more important, because it's your world now, and it's up to you to save it. We're not going to live forever. It's just not going to happen. I intend to live a long time, but we all do. You know what I mean? It's important to treat life the way it is right now. And I think that you blew me away. When I saw you in that little dark corner with that little skateboard just going, with your little dreads going, I'm like, are you really here? And she's like, yeah, I just want to work for you. I just want to do whatever. I'm like, well, go up and sell merch and do whatever. And just, you wanted to work. You wanted to do something. You have no idea how rare that is at the time that I saw you there.
I think it has to do...
You're a little ninja.
I think it has a lot to do, though, with how I was raised, because my parents always were, very middle-class citizens, blue-collared, and no matter if we had the money or not, they always said you can work for it, save your money, do what needs to be done, hardworking is the best way to go. So I thank my parents and my grandparents and everyone that raised me to think such a way that hard work will get you somewhere. And it's true. I've worked hard since the moment I could stand on my own two legs, and I've been doing what I can, and here I am right now talking to you on my very own podcast. That's determination. And
well, you know what? You can thank your parents and your grandparents for that.
Yeah, I do.
Somebody who knows what they're talking about.
They raised me right, and I thank them every day for it. I really do.
Well, I thank them for trusting you to send you down to a rock and roll concert that could have been, going to hell in a handcart and everything all kind of crazy, but it didn't. I care, And when I saw you, I just said right away, like, oh my God, if I had a kid, this would be her. And she needs to be pointed in the right direction. She worked so hard to get down here and sneak in. And I don't want to encourage everybody to do that. And there's a lot of people to do that, but you impressed me the minute I saw you.
Well,
and you still impress me.
Well, thank you.
That's why I'm talking to you right now.
And I'm so glad to finally have you on the show, and it means a lot, because even just us talking right now one-on-one, it doesn't even feel like I'm recording or doing my usual show. It just feels like I'm catching up with an old friend, and it's nice.
And we are.
Yeah.
That's true.
Baby, come into the world as pure as he can be. We've got your name and number, DNA and family history. My little demographic, we're all so glad to see you. Another one of us in traffic, we're licking our chops alright. The wars you'll never know about, cause your grandfather's father is dead and gone. You know how to sell it, so you will buy it. We'll have your hair before long. Mommy and daddy, they don't have a chance. Log on, tune in, drop out. Oh, my generation, they could have saved the nation. Oh, my little baby. Oh, my little baby. Always seem to want is fresh blood, fresh blood, fresh blood, fresh blood, fresh blood, fresh blood, fresh blood. A little baby comes into the world as pure as he can be. The only thing he knows is what we show him on TV. My sweet little statistic will make you a place. We'll make you a life, we'll make you a face, and we'll tell you how to run your race. Oh, my little worker bee, we'll tell you what you need. We'll show you how to live and die fashionably. Oh, my generation could have saved the nation, but no, 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 it was not to be. Rushing back to the gas station. Need you fresh blood, fresh blood, fresh blood, fresh blood, fresh blood, fresh blood. way some things wanna be. In the pictures in the 60s and the 70s, my generation was just one big hallucination. And what was it all for? Some psychedelic war as time runs on. Oh, we gon' fresh blood, 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 fresh
Trust your feelings.
I always go with my gut. It never leads me wrong.
Well, you're a good girl, and you're very talented. I mean, incredibly talented. So I'd like to ask you to hear the cut, if you can find it. My old boss posted it, because I don't keep track of my stuff. I just don't. I just really don't like to look back. That's what I don't like about my generation. That was what Fresh Blood said. My generation could have saved a nation, but we're all so in love with our graying hair, flashing back to the trash, to the classic stations. Shit, man. You know, I mean, come on, man. Let's all move forward. And especially where I live, you know, I live in a place, and I love it. You know, I love it a lot. I'm not leaving here, but I have a love-hate relationship with it. There's a lot of people up here that are so fucking nervous. Like sitting here going, oh man, you know, there's nothing like, you know, wow, when I Hear Butterfly played, I'm like, you gotta be kidding. You're aging you like 20 years. I mean, I don't even know what the hell you're talking about. Man, I do, but I don't want to be locked in the past. You know, I don't believe in time. And I believe in the youth. Otherwise, we're not going to make it. And I just am disappointed in my generation. I have to say that. We know a lot, but all we want to do is sit around and celebrate where we were. We're not sitting around going, what we have to teach and what we can learn, you know?
Yeah,
I mean, even people I know with kids, you know, they just don't want to listen, you know? Escuche, I'm listening. Sorry, I speak Spanish sometimes when I get excited.
no, that's good. It shows the true personality in you. But no, I agree, because even with my own generation too, I see that a lot. And like,
Really?
yeah, even though we're so young and we're only in our 20s, I know a ton of people my age that go back and go, man, the 90s were great. Don't you remember when?
Oh
and they just like live in the past, which was like a decade ago. And I'm sitting here going, yeah, it was great. Okay, but what about now? Like, we got better and bigger fish to deal with than just the good old memories. We got like wars, and we got political shit, and we have children of our own that we need to raise and influence, and you want to live in the past. That's where
The past is only 10 years ago or 20 years ago?
yeah, and they wanted,
True.
right?
That's all marketing. That's all marketing. And it's fashion. A lot of it is fashion oriented, and you know, I'm a fashionista as well, but only on a recycled kind of a level and all that. But no, it's all about marketing and doing that. I can't believe that would happen in your generation. Really? That fascinates me.
It's interesting because it's only been a decade, a little over a decade, but it does happen a lot, and it's just they live too much.
I see a lot of people having 80s parties and stuff, and I'm like, damn. The 80s were most of the depressing years in the world, but it's all about marketing and regurgitating the same things to sell it to younger people. That's what the record business has been all about. That's what the entertainment business has been all about. And that's cool. That's what it is. But if you have the balls to stand away and go like, sorry, I'm never going to fall for this. That's what Kill Your TV was all about. And you know, I heard yesterday on the news that Samsung, if you read the fine print on the TVs, They have the right to record through the television in your living room your conversations, and they have the right to deliver your conversations in your living room to a third party. I heard that on the news yesterday. Don't shoot the messenger, but that's what I heard. And I don't need anything to make me more paranoid. I don't care anymore. That's the good thing about being old is that I just don't give a fuck. That's why you're going to love your Grammy, because we don't fucking care. But that is what is true. And that's what is going on. We're all just consumers for the machine, and that's fine. But that's why I was kind of like glad that I've stood away for a long time. I knew I needed to because I was going to lose my mind. And I did it for a long time, and I'll go out and do my stuff. I'm having a really good time playing live. I love this show, and I'm having a great time by myself. I feel like I did when I was 12 years old, sitting on a bed playing guitar, like when my dad, bought me a guitar. I love it, and that is honest, and it's true, and I bless you and your generation, because I think you guys are the smartest generation, but you also have the most to deal with, because there's so much information, like you said, coming at you, and it's I can't even imagine how it would be to be your age at this time in the universe, but you're smart. You know that.
Well, yeah, I try to be. Like, after...
Oh, stop.
No, I do, because with people my age, they prefer the technology, which I do too, but I use it to my advantage. I don't let it consume me. I use it for my work.
The tail should not wag the dog, ever. Ever.
Yeah.
The tail should not wag the dog. Exactly. You're exactly right.
And so the only reason I ever use the internet or technology, like my laptop and what I'm doing now, is because of my career and what I chose to do. But when I'm not working, I sit down and read a book. I go sit outside. I go to the mall to hang out with friends. I get myself involved with the world without technology. And I think that's a problem with people my age, because they don't know how to separate.
The mall scares me.
Well, we just got a tiny little mall here. It's not a big one.
The mall scares me. That's a place of consumerism.
It is.
But you're a person of nature. I know that you've grown up with nature. I know you've been around nature.
Yes, and I really deeply am in love with nature. So when I don't have my time with nature, I become depressed. So it's like I need the even balance.
That's why everybody is on antidepressants in this country, because they don't spend time with nature. And nature is what will heal you and refuel you and do that. The mall ain't about nature, babe. But I'll tell you what, if this I'm just talking back to my horse right now because she's on the porch and that's her language. But if you well, I'll tell you what, if we go the way we're going, then that's your only access to nature. Fake plants under biodome. The Joshua Tree National Park is a designated biosphere, which means that someday it will probably be under a big dome, and that's where we're going. And you know what? I have nothing to say about it because I don't have as much time, to talk about it as you guys do. But is that what you want? But it doesn't matter if that's what you need. If that's where the world is going. Well, then that's where it goes, But then you accept that, well, people will never know trees, they'll never know what it's like to walk around trees or have it artificially happening or, if you don't know better, then you don't know better. But I tell you, the mall is basically about just consuming stuff. And I'm not a fan of malls. I gotta tell you, malls are kind of fucked up.
They can be, yeah.
Yeah. What do you like about malls?
I just go for...
It's a meeting place for you and your friends.
Yeah. Majority of the time...
Drink,
yeah. Yeah, we just... See, I'm not a big partier like I used to be, so we just usually meet up though at the mall as like a hot spot just to gather and then leave. To go to, we do a lot of hiking around here. We do longboarding.
Good.
So
Good.
it's more of just a meeting point, really. I haven't been to the mall in months, like actually shopped there. And I'm kind of glad about that because the mall gives me no interest at all.
No, get online and shop and go do your good shopping. But also, it's a lot of places where pedophiles meet and look for little people like you.
Yeah.
Granny's talking now.
I always listen to my elders.
But yeah, I can dig that. I mean, I can dig that. I used to go ice skating in a mall on Laurel Canyon in L.A. when I was a kid. I loved it. And I got hit on by some pedophiles. I remember getting a ride home because I had to walk home and hitchhike home. And I remember a guy picking me up, and I had my ice skate. And because I used to ice skate in the mall, it was rad. And he picked me up, and I said, "Oh, hey, how you doing?" And he goes, "I'll give you a ride home." And I'm like, "Cool." And then he passed my stop. He passed my bus stop. And I went, "No, I got to get out of here." And he goes, "Well," I go, "Why are you passing my stop? I told you to get off here." And I stabbed him with my ice skate.
Damn.
Hello. So I went through that, when I was your age a lot. So I just want to say to everybody, all your friends that you meet in the mall, watch your little young asses. Because it's really prevalent. It's out there. And that's a very, very special cause close to me is pedophilia. I don't dig it. I understand it on a lot of levels, but it's not cool. Child molestation is something that I would literally cut somebody's throat for, and I don't want to see it. So you guys watch your asses. Don't do that. Be careful around the malls, because that's exactly where pedophiles go when they want to find young victims. And go hiking, that's great, but just watch that shit.
Yeah, we anytime we're out and about, me and my friends, we are very close knit, and there's more than one of us together.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah, even in a small town like where I live in Medford, there's still a lot of drug problems, gang problems, like pedophilia problems.
Yeah.
And it's more prominent, too, in small towns than most people would think.
Yes, it is, because that's where people go when they get busted. It's like, we'll never get busted in the small town. Ed Gain, who is one of the best, Wisconsin, for God's sake. I'm nothing against Wisconsin, but they have some of the most serious serial killers in the world because nobody will miss you and it will take forever to find you. So you kids, watch your asses because it's really bad out there. So don't be silly. Stick together, stick to one another. But I'm very, very passionate about that because it really screws up a lot of people's lives. And they find, Jesus, I heard about a kid that was found this morning. That's just something you're a target for that. You're a target for that. So stay on your game, stay alert, and protect each other.
Oh, yeah. I'm one of those that always carries a pocket knife on me when I walk, no matter where I go. It's just like the way my parents taught me, too, is protect yourself before anything else.
Pepper spray. Fuck the knife, because somebody will get closer to you. By the time you use a knife, and I'm speaking from experience, by the time somebody gets that close, you won't be able to use that knife. They're stronger than you. They're bigger than you. Get your ass some pepper spray.
Okay.
Do that.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll put it on my keychain.
Get it on you now. Mace is illegal. I know it's illegal in California. I don't know if it's illegal in Oregon or anything, but get some pepper spray. I know that's legal. You can get it in an Army surplus store. Get your pepper spray on. Also, a good thing to have in your house is wasp spray because it shoots a stream of 20 feet in a straight stream, and it's legal. It's not like anybody's going to come at you or anything. But if somebody comes in, man, you blind their asses with wasp spray.
Huh.
And it's something you have to do, but you have to look after yourself because you only have one chance to do it. If somebody comes that close to you, they're going to win, not you. I don't care how you know how to work a knife. It doesn't matter. And I don't want to get a gun, but I'm close to it because I've had a couple of incidents. But when I was your age, I had a lot of incidents. And it wasn't as bad, but I knew how to defend myself. I stabbed a dude with an ice skate, for Christ's sake. For ice skates.
But I didn't know that about the wasp spray, though. That's a good technique to have.
Do it. It's wasp spray. It shoots a straight stream, and it'll blind somebody at 20 feet.
Wow.
All you need to have is a can of that by your bed. Because otherwise, if you use a gun, you're in all kinds of legal trouble, and then it's just up to lawyers and crap, and it's just a boring bunch of shit. But you use that, and you're going to be cool. I got to thank my friend Judy out here who turned me on to that. And we all know that out here, because if somebody comes out here, I live so far out, there's only one thing that anyone's going to come out here to do, and that's to hurt me. If somebody makes it all the way out to where I live and over the fence and everything else, oh no, they're only out for one thing, and that's going to be to hurt me or anything else. And so a woman's got to look after herself. A girl's got to look after herself.
It's true.
Anyone has to look after herself or himself. And so you just shoot that wasp spray, and it's just like, oh wow, I'm blind. Ah! And you're done. That's it. It's like, cool, and I didn't even do anything illegal, man. It's legal. No problem.
Nice.
So that's it. And I've worked with cops and all kinds of stuff, and I had a tattoo client of mine. He's a cop, and he told me, what we do with restraining orders? We bury them with the bodies, which means they are absolutely useless. The system, it's not their fault. I mean, it's absolutely useless. They're like, dude, really? All right, there's a restraining order. Is that going to stop a crazy guy? No, it is not.
Considering the situation, my congratulations, and with admiration offer my goodbye. I think I'll get my sweater and my other shit together and just let this whole damn moment vaporize. You and I don't know if we're a blessing or a curse, or God above. What if it's love? What would be worse? Considering the best part of the movie's come and gone, the lights are on and it is time to move along. Because the minutes are so sweet and the hours are a lifetime, and time is all we need. Because time is alive and the minutes are so sweet and the hours are so slow, and the future is a glowing thing that keeps us going. Considering my station and my lack of invitations, I enjoyed the combination for a while. Bittersweet temptation and so many complications. I no longer have the gallons for the miles. You and I don't know if we're a blessing or a curse, or God above. If it was love, what would be worse? Considering the best part of the movie's come and gone, the lights are on and it is time to move along. Because the minutes are so sweet and the hours are a lifetime, and time is all we need. Because time is alive and the minutes are so sweet and the hours are so slow, and the future is a glowing thing that keeps us going. Considering the situation situation. My congratulations, and with admiration offer my goodbye. I think I'll get my sweater and my other shit together and just let this whole damn moment vaporize. You and I don't know if we're a blessing or a curse, and God above, if it was love, what would be worse? Considering the best part of the movie's come and gone, the lights are on and it is time to move along. The lights are on and it is time to move along. The lights are on and it is time to move along.
They're too crazy for restraining orders. I don't care what you put on paper. They don't care. They were crazy enough in the first place. But I'm very into protecting kids and women who are the victims of this. And, you know, you kids meeting in the mall, you are. You are targets. And you tell your mama I said that.
Oh, yeah, she'll be listening and she'll know.
I know. She's good, too. She's good. But that's the truth. And you're smart. And you got to pay attention because you're a leader. And I don't talk to many of them your age, but you are.
I'm glad to be considered a leader because there's not
You
enough of leaders in my generation. There really isn't.
There are, but they need encouragement, and that's all. And you impress me so much as a leader that I vote for you.
Vote for me. Yes, please.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Super smart. Super good. And, yeah, I believe in you totally, girl.
Well, thank you.
But
That means a lot.
Research female circumcision because it's very important. And we can't be letting that happen to women at all, especially if we're, you know, here's the detail about that. This country is about freedom of religion. Well, for religion, it's about cutting off the genitals of your women. I can't really hang with that. So it really brings a dynamic. In London, it was especially prevalent because the rich countries, the rich Middle Eastern countries, could afford to send their women to London or wherever to have it done nicely. But the poor countries do it with a dirty tin can or a bad knife, and the infection rate is ridiculous. It kills little girls. You do your research and you get back to me because I know you will.
Yes.
And I know you, and I know it will affect you tremendously.
I've done little research in the past when I first heard about it, and it really did hurt me emotionally to know that was going on. For me personally, I thought it was progressing to get better, but I haven't kept up on it.
No, it hasn't gotten better. It hasn't gotten better. It hasn't. And that's what bums me out. It's just like I thought we were more civilized than that as a planet, and we apparently are not.
And that's sad. It really is to think that
It's beyond sad. It's just criminal. It's evil because we are sending money to countries that do that. Somalia, we are financing people that do that to women and girls. And the girls, they aren't even women, you know? I mean, come on. Why the hell are we financing countries that do that to girls? To little girls. They start doing that to little girls when they're 12. I can't hang with that, man.
And
you know? I mean, that's taxation without representation. It's just like, where's my money going? All right, whatever. Nobody likes bombs. Nobody likes that. We all know what's going on. But, damn, when you're financing countries that do that, and when you're taking money from countries that do that, I'm sorry. As a woman, I'm sorry. I can't hang with that. and that is not an issue that is big enough. And I got to say, I'm not a huge Hillary Clinton fan for a lot of reasons, but I do know that she supports this issue and that she is instrumental. After the World Women's Conference in China, that actually was instrumental in taking a couple of women out of this situation. But I don't see her making that an issue now,
Mm-hmm.
and that kind of pisses me off. Hillary Clinton pisses me off, and it annoys the hell out of me that this may be the only woman candidate that I have a choice. I don't care, man. I'll just vote for fucking anybody. I may not vote at all. I'm so disgusted about this because she's just kind of a piece of the old machine. She's done a couple of things really, really well. And this is one of them. And this is the only thing I think is one of them. Because I believe in this. This is wrong. This is something that little girls are being sliced up. And it's just really crazy, It's really crazy. And I apologize for that diatribe.
It's all good.
But it does bother me. I can't lie. I think it's really wrong. Really, wrong, but it's how long it's been going on. I mean, I'm freaking 57 years old, and this has been going on for almost how many years? And, this is wrong. It's wrong to carry it into other places. There's, like I said, there's freedom of religion, and then there's really screwing up. Like, stoning women, in bottom of swimming pools in Arabic countries, but it doesn't mean that I don't love everybody. I do. I've been to the Middle East, and I've met some of the people that I will never forget and I've loved the most in the Middle East. So I don't really like separating all that. But at some point, you just got to go, hey, man, your freedom of religion stops here. This is America, and you cannot cut off a woman's genitals. This is London. You cannot cut off a woman's genitals. But basically, it's all about money, and that's what people do. And we're all subsidized by somebody's money.
And it's true.
What happens?
It's true. And again, with like every religion that I've seen, every religion will have its good and bad, and some take it to the extreme more than others.
Exactly.
And,
exactly right.
And that's the problem. Is there's good and bad with everything.
Extremists are wrong. Extremists are extremists.
Yes.
Period. No, I don't care if you're a Christian, a Jew, an Arab, whatever. Extremists are extremists, and extremism is wrong. I've heard the argument also, whatever, I don't care. But, there's guys that shoot doctors who perform abortions. I would never have an abortion, but I believe in everyone's right to rule their own body, which is a strange political place to be in, because it's not black and white, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm the same way,
though.
though.
There's no place on the ballot for me. There's no place.
I'm the same way, though. It's like, if I may not believe in something for you personally, but I'm not going to take those rights away because they're your rights and you're a human being. So
that's exactly the crux. It's where does it stop when you say, okay, I don't believe in female circumcision as a person, but I believe in your right to do it. Well, I actually don't believe in your right to do it. You can keep that in your own place, but you can't keep it in mine. But then again, that's where I get confused, because it's like, do we have the right to dictate what someone does in their own country, including slicing off female genitalia? And that's where it gets gray, you know what I mean? That's where it gets weird. So it's really not the most comfortable place to be in, is hyper-awareness. And it's uncomfortable, because you're not on anybody's side, yet you are on everybody's side, And it's a drag sometimes, You're just trying to have simpatico or have, feelings for everybody's situation. But at the same time, maybe it's an American thing, you go, damn, I feel for you, yet you can't fucking bring this shit here,
Yeah.
This is wrong. And it's wrong there also. But what right do I have to say that it's wrong there? That's where being American is really rough. Because you're like, oh Jesus, then we're sending millions of dollars of helicopters there or shit. And it just gets, it's a tough thing. It's tough. And there's no. I recommend a book actually, if you will allow me to.
Yeah, go ahead.
Lost Horizon. It was published in the 20s, and it's really a great book. It's one of the best books ever written. I'm not sure how many times it's been. It's really hard to read, because the language is antique. But it's Lost Horizon is one of the most important books ever read because it explains the difference between Eastern and Western culture, and I suggest that.
I'll have to look that up. And you said it was in the 20s?
Yeah, 1922 or 1921 or something. Lost Horizon. It was a film, but the film was an old nitrate film, and it has disintegrated so badly that the only copy to watch is tough to watch. But I would read the book before the film for sure, as I would any film. I would always read the book first before I saw anything, if there was one. But you are a smart girl. I will never forget the night I met you. And I'm glad you have your own podcast. And you rock. That's all I have to say.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
You are quite welcome. Thank you for talking to me.
Yeah, I enjoyed talking to you, catching up, and honestly, hearing your opinion about the world, because I feel like a lot of musicians and artists out there overall, they don't get their chance to just freely speak like they should, like every human being. And
it's not their fault. It's not their fault. They're human beings. People are human beings, and they're afraid to say anything that will piss off their parents or piss off the record company, or it's not their fault, and they don't know. I mean, it just doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Everybody. Musicians are musicians because they're working out something of their own, and that's what the greatest musicians do. And they don't generally have the time, or inclination to know. And I'm very lucky in the fact that I've been a lot of places that a lot of musicians haven't been. I love China. That was an amazing place to play. I'll never forget that, and I hope to go back. But you ask any American around here what they think about China, or any American ever, and they just hate it for every reason. And that's just not cool, because it was just an amazing place to be. But we're all products of what we watch on TV, and what our news feed is, and what our input is from sitting in front of the television. And that's just what it is. And people can't help it, It's just not everybody who wakes up to strive for education as far as what's going on in the universe, I don't blame people for that. It's just what it is,
Yeah.
God bless everybody.
Yeah, and I agree. I always feel like I need to give everyone a chance to speak freely, even if they choose not to, because at least they have that open window to talk about an issue that they feel passionate about. Because a lot...
free speech is a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing about this country that's really a great thing, because then you know where the assholes are, but it also frees you up to, make a fool of yourself as well. So free speech is a great thing, and that's something about this country I think we should appreciate it, because it doesn't happen everywhere. If I spoke out as a woman, I mean, look at who won the prize, the chick who got shot in the face, and she was fucking 12 years old, for for speaking out and wanting a woman to have a conversation. She fucking won the Nobel Prize. I mean, God, she spoke out in a country where they didn't let women speak out. So it's just your choice, everybody's choice. But here, my point is, we have more choices than other people do, and we don't exercise them enough, in my opinion. Everybody's just it's not their fault. Everybody's just watching TV too much and laying back too much and collecting, disability too much and unemployment too much and just sitting back. And there's good reasons for that, but there are also just lazy ass Americans. I've everywhere I've ever been, the Americans are the laziest people I've ever seen. And I have to say, if I interacted with 100 people a day, I would say 20 of them are the hardest working people I've ever seen, and the rest of them are the laziest asses I've ever seen. And just kind of sucking at the tit of unions and things that they think that will take care of them forever. Nobody's going to take care of you forever. You got to get up, get out, and create. And that's exactly what you do, and that's why I liked you the minute I met you.
Well, I will always have that creative strive until the day I die. Yeah. I know it.
Go out and create. Go forth and create the future, my girl.
And I plan to.
And keep in touch. And I want to talk to you more, not just once.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I am down to do more of these because it's very freeing and it's nice. I love it.